So the best stock photography hack, yes. For those of you who are new here, my name is Charles Wollertz, this is Wollertz Photography, and here we talk about all things photography, but always with a little bit of stock photography in mind. Today I'm gonna share with you the best stock photography hack. I've been doing this for years with great results. If you ever found yourself stuck, no ideas, you don't know what to shoot, you don't know what customers even want, you're not alone. We all do this, we all go through this wall. But here's the thing, there's one hack that solves it all, and we're gonna cover that. How this gives you ideas on composition, lighting, camera setting, lenses, even color science. That's a lot, so make sure you watch till the end. And no, this is not the give up all hope strategy, although, let me add that here for later. The hack itself is super simple. Go straight to the source and study the photos that are already being used in advertisements. Look at this, for example, this is a Kroger Halloween cover magazine. Let's start with this. Let me set up this overhead thingy so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, let me move my stuff over here. All right, now let's break this down. Look at the composition. Notice the rule of thirds. 2/3 of the image have the cookies. 1/3 above is left empty, perfect for text. The cookies themselves have lines, leading lines. Look at this one goes that way like that. This one goes this way. That's even created more copy space, more room for text. It's by design. Look closely. I can see at least 2 light sources. If you look here from the side, you can see where the shadow is. That means there's a light coming from the left, or this side. I guess to use the right, but it's coming from that side, leaving the shadow on the other end. That is your main light, and it's a soft light. And you can see that there's light on top of the peanut butter cup here, so it's up and from the side. That gives you that deep shadow here and a little bit of a highlight here on the legs. Now, if you look closely back here on the legs here, there's another light from behind that's not diffused, which is why it leaves a little bit of a highlight. And you can see it there, you can see it up here. So that light is from the back. So you got 2 light sources at least, from the top side and from the back, a little bit lower, which is why that shadow here is not full. But you see a little bit here. The also thing I noticed is that the light from this side is warmer than the light from the back side. So all of these people that want you to match lighting, you could, whatever. You could do whatever you want. But look at this. This is a cooler light here, a whiter light, bluer light, and this is a warm light from this side. All right, so now we figured out the lighting. The main thing is to look for the shadows because that tells you where the light is coming from. Now, let's go into the camera settings and the lens, whatever was used to make this photo. If you watch my course or bought the booklets, you know that for food photography, I like using f5.6 to f11. This gives you sharp images front to back. So for this, I guess they use like an f8 or f11 because if you can see the detail here, the cookies are sharp front to back. Everything is super sharp. And I also know that this was a wider lens than a 200 millimeter. This is my favorite go-to for food. This is my 70 to 200. But here, if I use it even at 100 or at 200, when I'm zoomed in, depending on how close I am to the image or to the subject, even at f11, I'm gonna get that narrow field of view, that focus, what's in focus and what's not. But these cookies are completely sharp. So that tells me it was probably a 50 millimeter or a 35 millimeter, maybe even an 85. But I bet that it was a 24 to 105 and somewhere between the 35 millimeter and the 50 millimeter range. Now, let's go into the color science. Purple, orange, this is classic Halloween. And why? Because these colors are almost opposite on the color wheel. If you look at the wheel, the orange and the purple are very close. This screams Halloween, and the cover pops. Advertisers rely heavily in color psychology, and as photographers, we can use the same playbook. Now, this is just one cover, but we've already pulled out composition, lighting, camera settings, lens choice, and even color. Other things I learned by watching this image here, by examining it, is that it doesn't seem to be a composite. I mean, yes, somebody added text or different layers that did that, but the photo was one photograph. If you look at the lighting, it matches. Look at the top of the peanut butter cup here and the cookie. That lighting goes spread, the shadows go the same way, the same direction. The highlights from the background, they're all lining up. And it seems to be different cookies because they all have cracks in the different areas. Look at this one here, the one in the front almost doesn't have any. So it was a very complicated set. not just a quick Photoshop job. So putting in the effort and the time can go a very long way. Now, let's switch here to seasonal timing. Now you're probably thinking, but Charlie, is it too late? The magazine's already printed. Halloween's just around the corner. Why am I gonna be shooting Halloween now? I missed my chance. Now, not so fast. Look, timing helps, but it's not a deal breaker. I've uploaded Christmas photos in January and they sell. Why? Because buyers need pictures year round. It's not just what, yes, I know a lot of you are worried about maximizing in sales and making this work instead of fun. So what you can do is keep a folder for seasonal ideas for next year. Then you can just rip the pages and do it next year. That way you're always ahead. Or you make photos now and keep them aside until next July. Then you can upload them. Shoot multiple versions of the same thing, white backgrounds, black backgrounds, orange, purple, whatever. The more variations, the more chances of licensing those images you have. And remember, your goal is to create and upload. Don't get stuck in worrying about if it's too late or when or whatever. Just make it fun and keep shooting. Now, here's the beauty of this hack. It's not just one subject. I mean, look at the magazine. If I go through here, now there's tacos, not cookies, they're tacos. And if I go one more, now we have these whimsical bites, whatever these are. They look fun and delicious, so you can make that too. Let's keep doing food. Look at this, brats with pretzel things and dessert thingies. Awesome, and the best part is you get to eat your product after you make the photos. Look at that salad. Everything in this magazine are stock photos, and there's so many ideas here. Look at how fun that burger is, the sandwiches. I mean, you can literally break it down and have a lot of fun making these photographs. And these images here is what advertisers are using. I can't speak right now. All of them are stock photography ideas, already validated by big companies. And it doesn't just stop here with food. I mean, think about other magazines and other stuff. Even my credit card junk mail. Look at that, there's a photo right there. And on the inside, there's another photo of things that advertisers are using. Every single one is a free case study in what this business is paying for and free insight as to how that photo was made. Here's one of my favorites. One time I saw a cover photo in the Optimist magazine. It was ping pong balls, all flat faces, one was smiling. So that gave me the idea for sticky notes. That one photo I have of sticky notes. A bunch of faces all flat and one of them was smiling. That one photo has made me over $500. And for that session, I made about 20 photos and combined, they made me over $1,000 from sticky notes. So yes, this hack works. Now let's get back to the lose all hope thing because it's right here on my sticky note. Let's circle back to that. Lose all hope strategy and what that means. Don't tie yourself to sales. Don't shoot from desperation because you have to make those sales. Keep creating and upload and then move on. Let the buyers do their thing. If it sells, great. If it doesn't, then you're already into the next idea. This mindset is freeing. It takes pressure away from it and it keeps everything fun. Now, I'm tempted to put that hopeless photographer in a t-shirt. Maybe just hopeless or whatever. It's awesome. Now, there you have it. The best stock photography hack is right in front of you. It's in advertisements. Study them for composition, lighting, camera settings, color science, everything. Magazines, billboards, online ads, they are all gold mines. And if this gave you any ideas, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips. If you want to go a little bit deeper, check out my photography course. And remember, I have booklets available and I'll put links down below. There's lots of information in these things. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.